The Local Show, sponsored by Victory in Motion, home of knee repair, not knee replacement, on News Radio 570 WSYR, on 106.9 FM, and live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The Local Show features in-depth conversation with business owners, employees, and influential business leaders throughout Central New York, exploring their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in our growing community. The Local Show is produced locally by Zoe Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
It's The Local Show with Tom and Steve. Welcome in, folks, and I hope you're trying to dry out at least. This has been one heck of a wet spring.
The grass is green.
The flower beds are amazing. Joe Salvagni is with us. He's the COO and missionary for Coram Deo Ministry. And how are you there, Joe?
Doing great, thank you.
Yeah. Joe, before you started this, I know that you were in law enforcement for a while, and thank you for all that service. How many years were you in?
I put 11 years in.
Yeah, nice.
Had a little bit of an injury that forced me out, but I kind of see it as a blessing.
Right,
moving into this next venture. So.
Well, and what is this next venture? What is it that you do there, and what's the ministry all about?
So Coram Deo Ministry, it's Latin, and it stands for before the face of God. So there's many people in need in this world. We find a need.
I'm one of them, just so you know.
Yes.
He is.
We find the need and fill the need, whether it's clean water efforts in a village in Africa that doesn't have any clean water, medical in areas that have, these people that have never seen a doctor in these villages.
That's certainly not Tom.
No. So you get up and out of Syracuse is what you're saying.
Yes,
Okay, I got you.
Yes, yeah. Just got back from Africa a couple of weeks ago.
Where in Africa, and what did you do?
It's a village called Mumias, Africa, a village of about 10,000 people. And we brought doctors and nurses from upstate New York there with a bunch of medical supplies. And we had free clinics for a week to people that have never seen a doctor before.
Wow. Now, why there? Like you threw a dart on a map and, hey, let's go there. I mean, how does that happen? How do you know you're going to get received or they're going to put a spear in you? How do you know that?
Exactly. So there's a gentleman that we know that's there and says, listen, I know what you're doing and we could use your help. And he invited us there. So it's a local pastor in that village. He knows his people. He knows the need. And he just bridged the gap, with us. So.
So here in Syracuse, do you have a particular church that you go to or that you preach from, or you're not preaching? I don't know.
No, I'm not a preacher.
Right.
But I do mission efforts out of Northside Church in Liverpool. On Route 57.
Well, who's the pastor over there?
Chris Calley.
Yeah. Everybody talks good things about him.
He's a great guy. Great guy.
Right.
Yeah, so that's kind of home base for us.
I can even do an imitation of his brother, but I won't for Jeremy.
Yes.
He'd be like, hey, Joe, how you doing? Good to see you. Is that pretty good?
We love those brothers.
Yeah, aren't they great?
Yes.
Yeah, they're fabulous.
Great.
Yes. So.
Okay, so you're over there, and yeah. So what else do you guys do? You raise money for these places, or
we do. So it's a nonprofit organization. So we are always raising money for projects. I'm headed to Scotland in 3 weeks to go work with a church up in the Highlands, but all of that needs funding, and that's what we do. So. Find people around that understand what we're doing and believe in it and want to pour into it, and through many ways we're raising support.
So medically, so you're bringing a doctor or a nurse or a NP. How does that work?
Yeah. So for example, we had a couple of nurses from upstate. A doctor recently went with me to Mexico, and we poured in Dr. Steve Hogue. So yeah, just some great people here that get it and understand.
So they're taking time from their life
schedule
to go for a week or two or whatever it is, and to plow in and do that.
Do you ever worry that you're going into dangerous environments?
So there's always that concern. With my police background, I kind of do the double checking and all that.
Yeah.
I will go into an area first by myself to make sure that it is good before I bring a team from the States.
Okay, gotcha.
So I do a little homework myself before we head in there, but it is so far up to date. It is good. But 138 trips.
Oh my gosh!
Well, you're talking to a guy who's. I'm afraid to travel down to Georgia to see my family, and you're flying all over.
Tom's afraid of South Bay.
Yeah, right.
But so is there any part of you that's sad when you go into an area and you do a medical outreach and you're helping, and then you're leaving and they're there. Maybe they're a little better, but if someone's got arthritis or someone's got I don't know what
chronic stuff that still needs that attention.
How do you address that, or don't you?
Early in my ministry, I've told myself that it's not going to be a Band-Aid fix. I'm not going to go in with a team, fix it, leave, and never show up again. So all of our efforts are always setting up. So this pastor in Africa has been on the ground there since we've left for 3 weeks, still providing the help, still connecting the dots, and has recruited medical people in Africa to kind of jump in. Wow. So it's always a long-term relationship that I'm looking for. So it's not just a quick in and out, pat ourselves on the back and leave. It's setting the people up.
No, that's so. My wife Judy, she went on a medical outreach in Sri Lanka with, I don't know if you know Dr. Murata. Remember Lenny and Jane? Yes. They went and they did that, and they set up, and it was amazing. The whole thing was amazing. But I always wonder, what then? What about after?
So we're already planning to head back in February to do more clinics in the same place. We're going to bring more people to help kind of paint the facility and pour into the community even more. So
you're not trying to change their culture in any way? Do you introduce them to the Lord?
Most. So the answer is yes, absolutely. It would be just a humanitarian effort at this point, which is fantastic. But my goal and my efforts is to share the hope of Jesus in all that we do.
But you're not like, hey, you don't believe in Jesus, you don't get pills.
Not at all.
That's it. Cut you off, brother.
No, not at all. We want to provide the help to everybody and come alongside anybody and everybody that's willing.
So people can get involved. And Tom, why don't you read that website? Because I will read it improperly and know what I said.
Now I got to put my
put your specs on. So go ahead, Tom.
The Coram Deo Ministries.
Would I have said that right, Tom?
No, probably not. But they should know how to spell it. So it's Coram, and the Coram is Coram, and then Deo is Deo, and then Ministries. So Coram Deo Ministries.com.
I think this is awesome. I love what you do, and it's spectacular, Tom.
Excellent.